Several minutes of commercial-free football starts now. Here are the Purple Mortgage Guys.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Purple Mortgage Guys. Coming to you with Goose, Tanner, and myself, Brent. We're three guys that do home loans, and we love to talk Minnesota Vikings football. So we started a little bit of a show here. If you've not yet subscribed to it, go ahead and click subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment or a question, we do love to address those on air. So do that as well. And we would love to hear from you. So guys, on this one, we're going to talk about cornerbacks that are going to be available. First-round corners, huge position of need for the Vikings. And there's a few that we expect to be off the board, assuming we don't trade up. But we want to hit on all of those and just give you a list as a Vikings fan of what to expect from the corners that are available. So, Tanner, give us a quick list here, and then we'll unpack a few of them. But give us a quick list of your top 3 or 4 that are likely to go off the board quite quickly, probably untouchable, and then we'll get into some names that might be available for us there at 23.
Yeah, for sure. So corner is definitely probably going to be a position that Vikings fans specifically are going to be pretty excited about heading into the draft because it obviously seems like it's still a pretty big need. We brought in Byron Murphy, who's going to be a starter, but I think that guy across from him is still pretty unknown yet. We don't know if it's going to be one of those two guys or if it's going to be a rookie or even another veteran. So this is an extremely deep corner class, probably a stronger corner class than we've seen in a few years. There are 3 names that I have off the top of my head that probably aren't going to come anywhere close to 23. That's Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. Those guys are kind of 1A and 1B. If you wanted to flip a coin and decide which player is better,
They like top 10 then probably?
Yeah, I would say both of those guys are probably going to be gone within the first 10 picks. So, you can pick either one of those guys, and I'm probably not going to argue with you on who's better. So, Joey Porter Jr. is probably takes that 3rd slot. I expect him to probably go anywhere from like 10 to 20. And then once we get into the 20s here, that's where I think about 4-ish names the Vikings could potentially consider at 23. It seems like this is kind of the time of the year where GMs and front offices are finally starting to narrow down their draft boards. The combine's done. We do have a few pro days left yet, but those are mostly for guys that didn't test at the combine. So a lot of those boards will be coming to fruition. 4 names that I'd like everybody to keep an eye out for. The first one here would be Deonte Banks out of Maryland. Big dude. Super athletic. He's slowly been climbing up draft boards here within the last month. He had an excellent combine, runs a 4.35. He's fast as heck, and he jumped a 42-inch vertical. So he's extremely explosive, experienced in a variety of different schemes. He can play zone and man, extremely athletic. And my comp for him was actually a poor man's Patrick Peterson. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm not
43-inch vertical?
42 inches.
42. Oh, okay.
Which is still – did I say 43?
No, I don't know. Mine was 41 in college. So, for comparison's sake,
Oh, yeah. You ain't got nothing on you, Brent.
No.
Deonte Banks is the first guy. Another guy I think everybody should keep a name out for is Emmanuel Forbes. If you haven't had a chance to look at him, I feel like he kind of looks like Kevin Durant.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cam Dantzler Jr.
Like not
a poor man's Cam Dantzler.
Same like school.
Doesn't look exactly like Kevin Durant, but like his body structure. Like he looks like a basketball player playing corner.
Do you remember what they said about Kevin Durant coming out of college? Wasn't strong enough to never make it. Couldn't lift weights. Like they thought he would be too weak to play in the NBA. So anyway.
Yeah, football is different than basketball though.
Oh yeah.
Like this guy looks like you could snap his legs with your fingers. Like he is
like
super scrawny.
Like a J-Ron Burst type?
Probably even skinnier.
Okay.
Like I watched him run at the combine. That was really the first time I'd ever actually watched him live because I never watched any Mississippi State games. But he is just super scrawny. But another dude that's just extremely athletic. He's super aggressive for his size. He is PFF's number 7 overall graded corner in 2022. Also extremely fast. Ran a 4.35 just like Deonte Banks did. Super instinctive. Plays 50-50 ball as well. And I think that he's also got excellent ball skills, 14 career interceptions. 6 of those were returned for touchdowns. So that's
Who's this? You didn't give us a name yet.
Emmanuel Forbes.
Okay, Forbes. Gotcha.
Mississippi State. So
166 pounds, Brent, at the combine.
He is tiny. But he's like, isn't he? He's like 6'2" or 6'3", I think, isn't he?
6'1" is what he measured at the combine. I think he was being reported as 6'2".
166 pounds?
He is small.
How are you going to tackle anyone?
They like he has like the willingness to want like participate in run defense, but with his size in the league, I would imagine that he's probably going to be a big like grab and drag tackler. So I would hope that, like somebody like Eddie Lacy isn't playing in the division anytime soon.
Like AJ Dillon.
Touche.
Yeah.
So Emmanuel Forbes, borderline first-round pick, I think, right now. If he's not picked in the first round, he's probably going to go in the very first couple picks on the second day. So another name everybody should be pretty familiar with is Keely Ringo out of Georgia. Played in the best defense in the country last year. 6'2", 210 pounds, also a really big corner. I was talking to Goose about this earlier. Count for him is actually Jimmy Smith. So I think Jimmy Smith just retired, but the big corner for the Ravens. Big physical dude, runs super fast, but he's not super fluid. So he's most likely going to struggle with any like technicians, like really good route runners like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. That's going to be his weakness in the league. Tracking any of those types of players down.
Jimmy was like a 10-year solid starter though.
I think he will be too. But I just don't know that he's ever going to be, like a Sauce Gardner or a Jalen Ramsey type corner. So
with our cornerback track record, I'll take a 10 years. I'll take a 10-year solid starter right now. I can't swing and miss on another guy.
When you're like, oh, he played at Georgia, I'm like, oh, like Lewis Seen. Okay, got it. And then,
hey, Lewis is going to be good. Don't give up on him, Brent.
I know. I just want to have a home run like the first 5 weeks of the season. We're like, oh, we made the right pick, right?
I thought you were going to dig back to like Asher Allen when you brought up Georgia.
Yeah, we went through some rough years there. What was like 2012, 2013? Chris Cook.
This guy that cost me the hole in the wall. Sammy Watkins touchdown in Buffalo. All right, what else you got for me, Tanner?
And then the last guy, this guy's actually dropping down boards. He was, I think, as far as I can remember, I think like heading into the combine, probably one of the top corners in the draft, but I think he's kind of fallen to that second tier now, and that's Cam Smith out of South Carolina. Another kind of like Keely Ringo, actually. Big dude, fast, runs a 4.43. Really good ball skills, had 6 picks, 18 pass breakups in his college career. Pretty good tackler, but I think his biggest weakness is he gets very grabby. Granted, I think most good corners in the league do like to put their hands on people, but he had 10 penalties alone last season. So my count for him was a Doherty Jackson, but that's just another big corner. I don't think he's super fluid. He's probably going to struggle, like I said, tracking down any like super good route technicians. So, but if you want, he fits our scheme well because I think Brian Flores really wants his corners to play up tight and get their hands on receivers to try and slow them down. And I think all 4 of those guys that we just talked about would fit that bill at 23.
Goose, tell me about those names. You like those 4, or is there any disputing any of those?
No, I like them. I feel like the theme of this year's cornerback class is like athletes. Like all of these guys ran in the 4.3s. A lot of them have good size. Not that he didn't have the tape to match it, but I feel like the initial, like the first thing I heard on Christian Gonzalez was like freak athlete. And he is. Ran a 4.3, 840, 41.5-inch vert, 11 foot, 1 inch broad jump. But then you start looking at some of these other guys. Keely Ringo, not only is he 6'2", but he's 207. He's built. He ran a 4.36. didn't have quite the vert, 33.5 inches, not quite the broad jump at 10 feet 2 inches. But a guy 6'2", 200 plus pounds, running 4.36, definitely gets me excited. I've always liked big physical corners. Tanner hit on Deontay, ran a 4.35, 42-inch vert. Emmanuel Forbes 4.35. Like, we're a lot of the wide receivers that are drafted, like top first, second round guys, are running like 4.4, 4.5. Like, the corners this year are freak athletes. I get excited by a guy like Cam Smith, unless it's like personality issues in combine interviews that's making him drop. That would be one thing I take some stake into. But anytime, like, JJ was a guy who I kept looking at mock drafts where the Vikings were having a chance to draft Justin Jefferson. I was like, how's a guy with 2 years of 1,700-yard production make it to the end of the first round? And if Cam Smith is that guy that everyone had as their consensus, and then you see a bunch of guys run 4.340s and leapfrog him, I'll take a guy like that all day. He ran 4.43, still really good speed, 11 foot 2 inch broad jump, 38-inch vert, 6'1", 180. So I'd definitely be on board for that. It sounds like Keely Ringo is going to be there. Any of these guys that have good physicality, good size, fluidity makes me a little nervous, as Tanner mentioned with Keely, but anyone who's played high level SEC football, big games, he sealed the national championship with a pick 6 against Bryce Young. I just like players that have been in big moments and have made big plays in big games. Also against NFL type talent, quite a few of Ringo's highlights were against Will Levis and, first what seems to be the 4 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10 picks is what I'm seeing a lot of. So if you can play well against some of the top talent in the league, that definitely gets me excited. So I think if we could land any one of those guys, I'd be pumped. Really the only thing that's going to make me hold back a little bit is if we don't address the wide receiver position in free agency. I get nervous about going into the draft with JJ, KJ, and Naylor as your third. Makes me a little nervous. So hopefully we're not hamstrung there. I think from what I've seen so far, though, the cornerback class seems pretty darn deep, talented, and athletic.
Okay, so we're assuming we're taking a corner for this this segment here. So we've got Banks, Forbes, Ringo, Cam Smith. Goose, tell me the name. One word answer. Who you taking, and you'll sleep well that night if the Vikings take this corner. One word. Tanner knows how this works.
I'm going to preface my one word by saying, assuming everyone we talked about tonight is available, give me Cam Smith.
Okay, Tanner, one word. Who do you, of those 4?
Deontay Banks. I like those traits.
So
I think
Banks
that'll translate well.
and Smith. So you're not in on Forbes and Ringo.
I'm not against either of those guys. I just think I have durability concerns about Emmanuel Forbes in a position that we can't really afford to have more durability concerns at.
So on a previous episode, you mentioned if we sign another veteran in the secondary, and then we pair that with one of these guys at 23, you have to feel pretty good about the corner situation going into the season then, right?
Yeah, I would for sure.
Well, those names sound intriguing. You guys have done more homework than I have, but Tanner, tell me why Goose is wrong, and Goose, you tell me why Tanner's wrong.
Goose isn't wrong. You talking about Cam Smith?
Yeah.
I guess that the only 2 cons. Another big con that I did not actually talk about with Cam Smith is he's kind of a liability as a run defender. I listened to Lance Zierlein, I think, talk about that as well. And I don't think that's something that this defense can afford to have. We just need more like physicality, I guess, up front. And I just want like another alpha. I want a dog at corner. I want somebody to come in that just likes to mouth off and not afraid to go and knock somebody on their ass.
You want your own Jair Alexander, like that level of mouthing off?
I don't like Jair, but if he was on my team, I would like him for sure.
Okay. Goose, why is Tanner wrong?
There's 2 corners that play for Maryland that I like a lot this year. So I will be happy with Banks. But if I had to pick a hole in it, so far I feel like corners with like really elite athletic traits like Banks, I feel like sometimes they rely on that too much and they get caught out of position a lot. I need to watch some more film on him, but what I've seen so far is his things that he needs to work on are like kind of technique, kind of panicking when the ball's in the air, some different things like that. So there's a reason he's not one of those top 10 guys, but he's got the things that you can't coach, which is pure athleticism.
I thought your counter argument was going to be he's too athletic. I don't like that, but
yeah, he had a shoulder injury too, so I was kind of surprised Tanner went with him. He's ruling people out with any injuries.
Well, whoever we get if it is a corner at 23, they have to hit on it this year. We can't afford to go through another season with a secondary like 2022. So, well, there you have it, everybody. I want to hear in the comments. Leave me the name if we're drafting a corner. This is assuming we draft a corner at 23. Give me the name of the corner you want, and we'll discuss it on the next show. We're also going to hit probably every position group between now and the draft. So if you've got a preference on which one we address next, leave that in the comments as well. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back again before you know it. Have a great week, everybody.